This is ESPN ESPORTS. I'm Arda Ocal. Happy to be joined by Johanna Faries, who is the commissioner of the Call of Duty League. Johanna, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you.
So I know that we have a limited time and you have two big announcements to make. So let's just jump right into it. Maybe you can share them one by one. What do you have for us?
Well, I know we're going to be announcing champs. You had asked last time we spoke, and I'm happy to be back with you here. Really excited to say that all 12 teams are going to be participating in CDL champs this time around, and that shift is really exciting for us on a lot of different levels. And I think it only heightens the interest level of how the next several home series roll out, because frankly, now everybody's got a shot at the championship. And a lot of what will define where they sit in that bracket will be how, they accumulate CDL points from here on out. And there's still a lot of Cinderella stories to unfold potentially. So we're really excited about that piece of it. I'd also say that this particular home series coming up this weekend in Seattle is an exciting one because it's really the first time we're formally integrating Warzone into the Call of Duty League. And it's been awesome collaboration with Infinity Ward and with all of our teams and players. Really, the first ever private lobby in the history of Warzone on the planet, and it's going to be with CDL. And so to see all of the best players in the world facing off in this unbelievably explosive, incredibly popular new way to play Call of Duty with dedicated prizing is going to be exciting to see roll out.
So we're going to dive into both of these. Let's save the playoff structure conversation for a second here. So Warzone Weekends will debut at the Seattle home series on May 24th. Is it going to be 100 people? Is it? Do we have a game mode or sorry, a like duos, singles, trios? Do we know what the details are?
Yeah, so we are going to continue to sort of workshop how we eventize it going forward. What's been cool is we started with quads. We're going to see how that plays out. So, four players to a team and all of them representing our CDL 12 is going to be exciting to see roll out. And I think what's cool about it is that even though it's going to be a post-produced type of an experience, which we're going to be, very forthright about, it's exciting to see the most elite Call of Duty players on the planet get as hype about beating each other in Warzone as they are about beating each other in 5v5 Modern Warfare. So it's going to be really fun.
There's been a lot of Warzone content, right? Whether it's charity tournaments, et cetera, and a lot of Call of Duty League players are involved. And is this the extent at which Warzone will go in terms of esports, or is there more being thought of by the league?
Yeah, I think it's more just our way into, look, we want to capitalize on all the different ways to play, and we should find new and different inflection points. And Warzone just has this really exciting new vector for us, and it was really awesome to see how quickly we were able to spin that up. And again, getting these guys in this private lobby and really be able to control how that experience rolls out is so unique. It's been amazing to see the studio collaborate with us on that and really make that unique to CDL.
So let me correct myself. I said 100. It's actually going to be a 48 player lobby, and it's going to be a custom lobby, like you said. Uh, who will be involved? Will it be players that are not competing in the weekend? Will it be players that are competing the weekend? Like who is eligible to play in a particular Warzone weekend?
Yeah, we left it up to the teams, right? And we said we want all 12 teams represented and we want four guys to a side. And whoever those four are really up for, the teams to determine. It's what's cool about it as well is I think given that we're able to do it in our off weeks per se enables a lot of our pros to really focus on it, right? Versus doing it live might have been a tension point, right? Where they focus their attention. So that's accommodated for, and I think will only dovetail into a better experience, a better program, a better show to watch for fans. What's also cool is I think that flexibility has allowed for teams to also say, yeah, we're going to mix and match. We're going to have three guys from our starting roster. We're going to have a special guest. We'll have a BR specialist. We wanted to keep it very wide open, right? Just to include not only our pros but the broader player base, and really go after it. So it's been fun. I'm excited to see it roll out.
It'll be interesting to see what teams do, what approaches they take. Do they take the influencer approach? Do they take the content creator or active players, subs, etc.? That'll be very interesting to see how they put together their teams of four. So that's Warzone Weekends. It starts this weekend in the Seattle home series, May 24th. It will be 48 player lobbies, teams of four, and it'll be a custom lobby. Is there anything you can tell us about? Will custom lobbies be coming to the game soon for people, or is this just exclusively for this Warzone Weekends activation?
Yeah, it's exclusive to this weekend's activation, and it's exclusive to CDL. So, right, like our hope is that we can do more of these, and I think it positions us again well as far as how the studio is supporting the league, and just really cool things we can do when we're all working together.
Does this take the place of hype battles, or will hype battles be a thing you think about once home series in person becomes a thing again?
Yeah, it's a great question. Honestly, there's room for both. I don't think we thought about this as a trade one for the other. It was more we really want to make sure that we figure out a way for Warzone to come into the competitive system, and let's put pricing on the line. Let's make sure that these guys feel like there's really something as far as stakes, so that they take it as seriously as they would take any other match that they're facing off in. Hype Battles is also a home to where you might see more of those mainstream celebrities kind of come in more for fun, right? For pure entertainment purposes. And I think they both play a role.
Okay, so will this be something that we're keeping standings on, or are these standalone weekends? Like we won the Seattle one, and then it resets for the next Warzone weekends.
Currently, it's standalone, right?
Okay.
It's very much just let's have fun with this. Let's see where we can take it. And again, keeping that fluidity around who could take the chair is kind of fun to think through as we go forward. So more to come on
Okay.
that.
Cool. And it's a $10,000 prize for Warzone weekends. So let's now talk about the playoff format. The big change here is that every team makes the playoffs now. Was this something that you were thinking about as soon as the league went online? How long were these conversations happening in terms of changing or modifying the playoff format?
Yeah, I think as you know, we talk about it a lot. We're just always using the opportunity for thought partnership with our owners, with our GMs, with our coaches, with our players. So this was on the docket as something we were taking very seriously when we were thinking about the shift to online. So it has been a number of months that we were thinking through pros, cons, do we like this? And I think generally that was one of the planted stakes early on that we all had heart for, right? And how do we make sure that while we do that, we also make sure that the regular season continues to be as meaningful, if not more impactful now than it was even in a live event model. So it's been awesome because I feel like we've been collaborative throughout on that one, and I think everybody's pretty excited to say, hey, I still have a shot at this, and major pricing on the line at that.
I think that the teams near the bottom of the standings would be happy about this, given that they make it to the playoffs. I'm actually curious, did you get any pushback from the top teams saying, hey, we are at the top of the standings? We would have made it regardless. Why does everyone make it? Was there any sort of concern from any teams about the change?
I don't think we ever experienced that. I think part of it was because we knew we wanted to make sure that, what do buys look like, and how do we create some balance where the better you do in the regular season, the better hopefully your outlook can be, even if you're participating in an all 12 bracket scenario. So I think it was a guiding principle from the start, but never heard a lot of pushback at all. And I think that's been really cool because I know that it's really important to all of our 12 that we think league wide health in addition to team wide health. And so I think we all agree, having all 12 brands represented in its inaugural season for the postseason is exciting for everybody. That gives every fan a reason to tune in. So let's figure out what that looks like.
So some of the details include, as you mentioned, all 12 teams will be part of the postseason. And here, quote, within the new setup, league standings will determine the top two teams at season's end, who will receive a bye until the third round. The remaining 10 teams will compete in a double elimination tournament format where fans will now have the chance to see their hometown squads compete for the Ultimate Prize Championship weekend is scheduled to be held in August 2020. So the plan now, even though it's until August, is to have it online. Is that the plan?
Nothing to say there yet.
Okay.
That will come out in the next several weeks as we look at all of our options. I would say we are actively scenario planning. So more to be done there and more to be announced.
Fair enough. When you were planning the format itself, it's a double elimination for the remaining teams, and then the top teams get a 3 round bye. How much input did the teams have? Like, how much of a collaborate effort was it in putting the structure of the playoffs together?
It was quite collaborative. Yeah, and like I said, we've been talking about this actively with every single one of our teams and with our players for at least 2 months now. So yeah, I think we feel good about that. And as recently as last week, we were talking again about, we had another touch base just about how do we feel about champs and how do we want to think about it. So hyper communicative right now, and I think you need to be right. It's just a prerequisite given everything we're facing and how much scenario planning needs to take place for this to be as successful as we all want it to be.
I know that you mentioned that there is consistent communication from the league and the teams. A couple things I want to ask about. The first thing is the servers seem to have gotten unanimous praise since the last time we spoke. Since the blog post went up, it seems as though people are very happy with the state of the game online, the amount of servers, and in fact, the league proactively added servers. So it seems like it's in a very, very good place. What's the feedback that you've received?
Yeah, the same, right? And that is where we want to be. That's exactly where we want to be, right? How do we continue to improve and quickly? And so it's always good when we hear that. It's always good when we hear that, frankly, unprompted positive feedback from our players who say, "Wow, this is as good as I thought it could be, if not better." And frankly, we're still thinking about can we make it even better. So it doesn't stop there, and so it's great to feel that way. It's great to feel that teams are enthusiastic about online competition because of that. And if we can make it better going forward, we will continue to do so.
The referee situation involving the Royal Ravens. Can you just tell me from your point of view, like how did that look that Monday after that occurred? Like, what were some of the conversations that were had? What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I mean, I'll keep it general. But I was in active conversation with the team, with Atlanta, with our own org, right? Like in real time after and even on Monday. And I think there's again a really good cadence of let's be self-reflective. Was there anything that we could do better? Is there a better process in place? Is there anything the team or the players should be self-reflective about? And let's not point fingers. Let's just tighten it up, right? So I would say that was sort of the theme going into Monday, but I felt pretty good given that it spun up quickly and we were able to address it at many levels.
Are you confident that this kind of situation will be, for lack of a better term, better handled if it were to arise next time?
I would apply that statement to everything we do. I know that feels really cliche,
Fair
but
enough.
like tomorrow should be better than yesterday. That's the enterprise we are in. And so I was glad that we're not really stuck in that mire. I mean, we addressed it, we talked about it very openly, and we come up with a better blueprint for next time. And so we're going to be better off for anything that comes our way. So I feel confident in the communication cadence there.
Okay. Last thing is there was reportedly, or at least there was speculation that there was a conversation had between the league and teams about domination as a game mode. Is there anything that you can share on whether conversations happened or whether or not domination will remain as a game mode for the rest of the season or even next season?
Yeah, another great question. Yeah, we will talk a little bit more about that later this week, so you can expect that from us in blog posts and yeah, we had great conversations about that. I think we all just wanted to hear around the horn what do we want the third mode to continue to be? It was more about the mid-season point. We knew that, at this point in time in the season where there was an equal amount of matches played, this was the time to just sort of say, are we good? Do we want to keep going with the same three-mode structure? And if so, do we want domination to be that mode? So nothing to hide there, and more to come in the next couple of days about how we discuss the outcomes of those decisions. I was just really happy that we were engaging our players and our teams pretty actively on the implications, pros and cons around that.
So, as you mentioned, announcements to come, but the official announcements made here are that number one, Warzone Weekends are coming, starting with the Seattle home series weekend on May 24th. It will be a 48-player lobby, all 12 CDL teams represented in teams of 4. They can mix and match active players, substitutes, celebrities, you name it, they can choose. Can even be employees, really, can be anybody. And so they will be
Yeah.
competing for a $10,000 prize pool that will be starting this weekend. And as well, The playoff format officially changed. All 12 CDL teams are included, but there will be different paths for all of them depending on where they rank in the CDL standings at the end of the regular season. CDL Commissioner Johanna Faries joining us here on ESPN Esports. Thanks as always for your time.
You too. Great to see you.